To this third option is Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, along with our panel, Dana Bash, Jessica Yellen, and Gloria Borger. Senator Graham, you've already stated you don't trust the Russians. I have to say, the number of members of Congress flocking to embrace this plan from Putin, not to mention members of the administration, I can't help but feel that there's a certain desperation there to get out of this pickle as opposed to a real optimism that this could work.
Well,
am I being cynical?
Well, yes,
No.
but maybe deserved so. But let's look at, in all honesty, do you believe the Russians have been affected by the threat of a strike in Syria? I think that's a possibility. Why not try it? Everything that the piece outlined is true. But if you could secure the weapons in a couple of months, I don't care if it takes a couple of years to destroy them, the world would be better. John and I have been pretty hard on this, right?
John McCain.
Yeah, so I'm just here to tell you that no matter what you hear from me, I don't want any more war than necessary. I've seen what it does to people, and if there's 1 in 100 chance that this could yield a result to get the chemical weapons off the market, even though it would leave him in power, I would be willing to take that, but we're not going to wait for weeks or months. This has got to be done pretty quickly.
Well, should there be a timetable?
Yeah. Yes.
So what should it be?
Well, I think a couple of weeks to get I think Britain, France, and the United States should introduce a resolution, challenge the Russians to put up or shut up, listen to their suggestions to change it, and have a vote. Not let this draw out, draft up a resolution, a united front by the 3 countries I named, and tell our Russian friends and colleagues, how would you want to change it? Tell me in 24 hours, then let's vote.
Putin said no threat of the use of force, though.
Well, you know, again, that makes the cynic and Jake come true here. I've never really believed this was a reality, but I'm willing to try it.
And how much of a position should Congress have? I mean, I know you're working with several of your counterparts, Democrats and Republicans, to come up with a modified authorization to deal with diplomacy.
You only have
force.
one commander-in-chief and one secretary of state. Now I know why. As much as we've criticized these guys, could you imagine 535 of us doing this? So at the end of the day, I think you will see if there's a serious pathway forward in the United Nations, a resolution of force that will have an exit ramp, an off-ramp for UN action if it really comes to pass.
But why is it worth engaging this at all now? Respectfully, they have had 2 years. They've had more than 2 years. If they were serious about doing this, they've had plenty of time to come forward.
Why is it worth it if you could take 1,000 tons or whatever the number is of chemical weapons off the market away from Assad, deny that to Hezbollah and maybe some al-Qaeda elements that could overrun these caches? It'd be the best couple of weeks you could ever spend.
But you just said you don't trust them.
There's a lot of things I don't trust, but at the end of the day, let's try it, because the goal, if we could successfully defang Assad and take the chemical weapons off the market, it would be a great outcome.
Can I get back to Jake's point, though, which is that I think, I don't want to put words in your mouth, that this would sort of be in everyone's mutual self-interest to get this off the table in Congress so they don't have to vote. You're shaking, you're nodding your head. Get it off the president's docket. He's got a lot of other stuff to deal with, right? I mean, is this kind of mutual maybe get it off Russia's docket?
I think there's a mutual benefit to try to see if this thing can end better than it's ending today. And if you could have a pathway in the UN, let's try it. But if it fails, then I think the president could look everybody in the eye. I've tried everything I know to do. I even tried to work with the Russians. And when Lindsey Graham says he's willing to work with the Russians, that shows you that we're trying to do everything possible to get these weapons off the market and avoid a conflict.
So you're saying it's not phony, it's real?
I'm telling you, if it fails, if a couple of weeks from now, it clearly is not going to happen. After this speech, I cannot imagine the President of the United States, after saying the things he said tonight, the answer is that he used these weapons and we didn't do a damn thing about it as a nation. Can you imagine how that would play out in the world with the case being made tonight and all the things he said? Nothing ever happened in Syria?
Okay, so game it out for us. Let's say it doesn't work out, which I think we can all agree the odds are it's not going to work. But we all hope it will, but it probably won't.
Right.
Then what? Then what does the
And
president
the
need
president
to do?
has to use military force to strike
Without
Syria.
Congress, even after he's talked about the oldest
In my
constitutional
view,
democracy
after
in the
tonight,
Western
he has no
civilization.
So you think
He
he
can't
set the
hide
sta- he-
behind us.
Could he get a vote by Congress? Could he get the authorization from
Well,
Congress?
I don't know if he moved the
In a few
numbers tonight in the House. It seems highly unlikely.
No, in a few weeks. If this
Well, I don't know.
Russia
I don't
option
know.
doesn't
I
work.
don't know if things change. Anything's possible. But I'm assuming right now that 2 weeks from now the House will not authorize.
So, Skip, you had dinner with the president and the vice president a couple of days ago. Can you give us a little behind the scenes, anything that maybe we should know about their thinking? I know.
Yeah, the president's working really hard and he's taking this really seriously.
No, but
He really is.
this is
I
a
mean-
Republican senator who
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
you know,
No, it just
is
sounds like
not
the kind of thing that
is
the-
not
the White
uncontested
House
back
official will
home.
go off the record and say the president's awesome.
Well,
No, that's what I mean. It's hard work. I mean,
the
you
easiest
could get in
thing
trouble back home for
easiest
saying that,
thing
sir. You know
politically
that.
for me at home, if Obama says A, I say B. You know, when Bush made some mistakes in Iraq, I said, hey, I think this is a mistake. But at the end of the day, I know the president has screwed this up in about 1,000 different ways, but name a time when some things haven't been screwed up in foreign policy. This is not the first time, but this may be really at the top of the list of how to screw things up. I think he really is trying to find a way to get the answer right, but after tonight's speech, there is no other right answer. If diplomacy does not achieve the desired result of taking these weapons off the market, he must act. And if I was in Syria tonight and I heard this speech, I don't know what it's going to do here in America, but if I'm Assad, I've got to believe after tonight I'm going to get hit.
All right.